Hey Maddie, this is Mrs. Skoglund. Just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback on your summer assignment. So we are mostly going to talk through chapter 2 since that was the question that you starred, but I'll kind of reference some other parts of your project throughout the video as well. So to start off, the first thing that I look for in a body paragraph, which is what this structure is a strong topic sentence, and ideally we want that to answer the question that's been provided to you and sort of preview what you're going to talk about in the rest of the paragraph. So I think, Maddie, this particular question that's asking about careers that are impacted by R-directed thinking, like what are they and how are they impacted? So I think you definitely name some of these careers, which is really good. But do make sure that you get to the second half of the question or look at all parts of the question, because I'm not totally sure that I'm getting the how they're being impacted piece of that. I noticed in some other paragraphs, similarly, you have a topic sentence that definitely references the question, but you don't always come right out and answer it. Like this one, you kind of just say that there are differences. You don't really tell me what those are. So I think that could definitely be something that you could go back and revise. Next, I actually look at the end of your paragraph for a concluding sentence, because we want that to also go back to the question, kind of tie everything together and let the reader know that the paragraph is ending. I think you did a nice job with your concluding sentences, Maddie. I like that it sort of summarizes the paragraph and starts to talk about the importance and how our directed thinking is really taking over. So good job on those. Next I look at your evidence, and I thought that you did a pretty good job selecting your evidence. So I like how, you talk about engineers and programmers here, and then doctors in this quote. That's nice because it helps you to really differentiate those pieces of evidence. I think you also are on the right track with embedding your evidence. So like this particular example, if I read it out loud, says, as a result, the work gets offloaded, engineers and blah, blah, blah. So that's nice because even with the quotes there, it reads really smoothly and just flows together, and that's exactly what we want. However, I noticed some of your other quotes, like this second one, are just quotes that are kind of hanging out by themselves as a sentence. And because this is your writing, we do want at least some kind of lead-in from you. We don't ever want the quote to just be on its own. So I would encourage you to fix some of your other quotes to be more like this one, this first one that was really good, and just make sure there's always some of your own writing in there. All right, next I look at commentary, and I think that this would be an area, Maddie, where you could go back and add some, because I noticed not just in this paragraph, but in a lot of your paragraphs, you jump from your first piece of evidence basically right into your second piece of evidence. Like you might have a sentence, but it's usually just a transition sentence. And we want every piece of evidence to get its own commentary, because that's really where you are breaking down and analyzing the evidence and telling me why it's relevant to the question that you're answering. So definitely adding that first piece of commentary. And I would say on your second piece of commentary, also try to make sure that you're not just summarizing the quote, really tie it back to that question. So like here, when you say, automation is kind of taking over doctors' jobs, we'll go back to the question, why does that mean that doctors or people in the medical field are going to have to figure out some of these R-directed skills, right? So just make sure you're kind of going back to the question. All right, finally, proofreading, conventions, and citations. I think your citations look perfect, so great job there. Keep that up. Conventions, I noticed a couple missed apostrophes here, and then other way, sorry. I think down here, just be really careful not to use personal pronouns like you. That's just a little bit too informal for academic paragraphs. So even just saying benefits people can get really elevates your word choice. So a couple things to watch out for there. I thought you did a nice job on your R-directed activities as well. I liked the changes that you were going to make especially. So anyway, just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback.